It's healthier. I think it's much better than it's been in the past. Last probably around 2001, 2002, 2003. Those were pretty sad times. It was tough times. I think it's getting, it's improving. It's definitely improving. It can't be any worse than what it was. That I would have to imagine. But the projects that are out there, I think, are getting more interesting. The thing that I'm not quite sure about is what all the mergers will mean. It could mean the growth of independent productions and independent labels, and now with the fact that you're actually selling tunes sometimes rather than whole projects or whole albums, that could change the scene too. It's almost like we're selling more singles, but without. We're not selling little pieces of plastic and putting them in stores and getting them out to people's houses. That whole model has changed. But the whole iTunes Store, iPod thing is a whole. In fact, it's almost, you'd almost say that could trace a change in the industry almost to that point when that came online, which was about '03, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes now with the video iPod. The whole internship program, the way that we would know interns in the music industry has kind of changed a little bit. There are no staff engineers anymore. Most studios are really staffed with assistant engineers, and then the guest engineer comes in and works. You wouldn't have sort of like an A&R recording with Phil Ramone at the helm, and then people coming in and assisting Phil for X amount of years and then going off on their own. That sort of situation doesn't exist anymore. That's where the schools, I think, become very important, because that's really the place where they're learning the tools of the trade and then moving off and working with other engineers. We have actually a very good internship program. It's based on the film and TV model. And we have probably a base of about 200 businesses that are looking for interns. And because our students can take, I think, up to, 4 semesters of internships. And it's with major companies. It's like Sirius Satellite Radio, Broadway Video, major companies in New York City. But they are real jobs. You're not just going and collecting coffee and sharpening pencils. These are jobs that are vetted by the internship director. And they are in communication with the people that are supplying the internship. And there's an agreement that over the course of the semester, this student will do X, Y, and Z. And it's a considerable position that these people are being put into. We've had students being, the assistants to CEOs of major record companies, things like that. So they're actually, it's beyond just being like an assistant in a recording studio. And I think, if you've gone through this program, you want to move a step beyond that, which I think is why it's a better position to be in than say coming through like a strictly engineering program, because I think you'll have more to bring to the table. A couple of years ago, I wasn't so certain. I almost felt I saw things going a bit awry back in 2000. I mean, I had many conversations with people in my industry saying, "What's going on here? I don't think it doesn't seem healthy." I just remember as a freelancer, I knew what I was doing 3-4 months in advance, and really started watching that slip away to a matter of weeks, and things kept going along. And then 9/11 occurred, and some companies just found that very convenient to kind of just draw a line and say, "We're not going to do these projects. And but some very real things occurred where you had, especially if you were dependent on foreign clients, people from Asia or people from Europe, they weren't traveling. And so many of us watched, 2-3 months of work just dry up just like that. That's, I think, going away. One thing I do is, for the last year or two, I've been going to Meetum in Cannes and the Music Business Conference, and taking a good look at how the rest of the world is looking at the music industry, and starting to find out about, I think last year the big thing was ringtones. Over here in the States, not such a big deal. But the rest of the world, you know, this is a very, very healthy industry that's going on. So I think you really have to kind of pay attention to almost a bigger picture, and be able to, maybe be the first one to come back, first one on your block, to know what the next big thing is going to be.